I have a message for Paul Polinsky, Director of DHHS in North Carolina. Paul Polinsky, you are supposed to be the overseer for North Carolina DSS. So why am I hearing that North Carolina DSS is going to go remove children from victims of Helene for homelessness? This is wild. As I said before, in North Carolina, taking children from parents solely due to homelessness generally goes against DSS policy and established best practices. Federal guidelines, as well as North Carolina DSS policy, emphasize that poverty or homelessness alone should not be grounds for removing a child from a parent's custody. DSS is expected to prioritize supporting families, connecting them to resources, and helping them maintain family stability. They get funding to help these families who have homelessness. So if they take a child, guess what? They take that child and they get funding for that child to help that child be connected to its family, but they don't connect the children to their family. They rip them away and they cause them all kinds of traumatic emotional response. So for families facing emergency displacement, DSS typically has an obligation to provide support to help locate shelter options. They receive funding specifically intended to assist families in crisis, and their role should include connecting families to temporary housing resources rather than threatening the removal of children due to lack of shelter. If DSS is intervening in a way that threatens removal simply because these families are homeless, it could be a violation of these policies, especially if they are not first offering assistance with housing resources. Families in this situation may benefit from legal advocacy to ensure that DSS provides supportive services, rather than taking drastic action due to circumstances outside of the family's control. Additionally, local housing and legal assistance organizations might have emergency resources or advice to help prevent family separation in these cases. And as far as the Red Cross leaving, I think that North Carolina probably told them to leave so DSS could swoop in and take those children. And that is conspiracy to commit fraud. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is exactly what they are doing because they get resources and they get funding for those children in their custody. But let me go ahead and tell you, North Carolina foster care is already overwhelmed. So where are you going to put these kids? Where are you going to put them? Inside facilities that are also overwhelmed? I've got a client in Harnett County who's been moved 17 times over the course of 10 years. Her mother spoke to Paul Polinsky directly, and he said that DSS was not violating any policies. He's in on it. Because if he had any common sense, he would have read DSS policy and listened to the story and put two and two together. Paul Polinsky is a fraudulent criminal. He needs to be removed from DHHS and North Carolina authority leadership positions immediately. The people of North Carolina, you need to elect a new overseer because Paul Polinsky, he's dipping into the funding just like everybody else. This is disgusting. If you are in North Carolina, please share this video. Please let the people know they can't take your children. And if they do, you've got one heck of a lawsuit on your hands that I'll be happy to freely guide you through. And let's talk about the Red Cross packing up and leaving. So the people who tell the Red Cross when to come and go are the local, state, and federal authorities, and they usually coordinate closely with FEMA. It says the American Red Cross presence and withdrawal can depend on various factors, such as immediate needs of the community, resource availability, which is BS because we just gave blood last week. I am in Ogden, Utah. We just had a blood drive last week. So why would the Red Cross stop helping victims? This makes no sense. Sometimes local agencies like DSS will step in to manage ongoing needs of the initial emergency relief is stabilized, which can explain why they might have left earlier than expected. So that says right there that the state probably told them to get lost. If I were the people of North Carolina, I would work together on suing the entire state for conspiracy to commit fraud, because that's exactly what they're doing. Paul Polinsky, he's a piece of crap. He is. He's a piece of crap. There, I said it. Anybody who agrees that corruption is okay is clearly digging into the cookie jar. And you know what? This is the age of Aquarius that we're still in, and the truth is coming out. So, Paul Polinsky, I'm going to make sure people know how to sue you and sue the state of North Carolina if you continue to allow DSS to remove these children from these families. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you look to further already traumatized victims? I mean, come on. Some of them rode their house for miles on the river. Some of them lost everything they have, but you want to continue to take more of what they have and remove their children? What are you thinking? Oh, we don't need to give all this free stuff to these families. Let's just take the kids and get federal funding and use that. But we'll misuse it. Instead of using it to help these families find proper placement, we'll use it to pocket it and go on vacations. We'll use it to put in our department's pocket. We'll use it to pocket for whatever we need, but we won't use it for what the children need. I got a son right now in state's custody in the state of Tennessee because he can't stop breaking the law. And you want to know how he got there? Through fraud. And they will not give him addiction therapy. They refuse to treat him for addiction therapy. And I'm suing the state of Tennessee. Working on my lawsuit right now. They're going to be done by the time I'm finished with them, because I am not playing. And I'm bringing a whole slew of people with me that's done been through it too. Wake up, y'all. The time has come. It says in some cases they might feel they have accomplished their primary mission. They didn't accomplish anything. Those people still are in need. And how dare anybody in the state of North Carolina tell the Red Cross to leave? I hope that this video gets millions of views, because people need to know what's happening in North Carolina is going to be happening in other places too. They want to take your children and they want to traffic them for funding in a country where we print our own money.